Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week I'm sitting with my son Jakey because Jakey is not exactly the quiet one in our family, right?
Sometimes.
Who talks the most?
Me and Zach and Lizzie.
Yeah, and who talks the least?
Mom.
Really?
What, you think it's you? Shirley who talks the least is Luxion. She doesn't even talk.
She barks.
What's the difference?
The Torah portion has really interesting pieces this week about silence and speaking. There are moments where God is instructing Moses to bring Aaron and Aaron's sons forward to make offerings. And they're instructed to do this, do that, do this, do that. But interestingly enough, all of it is done in silence. All of the activities. There's finally a point where Aaron turns and blesses the people and says something. But otherwise, it's all in silence. Can you imagine a world where everything was done in silence?
I can handle it.
You think you could handle it? When are you quiet, Jakey?
When people put me on the silent treatment.
When people put you on the silent treatment?
And when I want to be quiet.
And when you go
I'm
to sleep?
sleeping.
Yeah, when you're sleeping, you're quiet. Who's
I
the
don't know.
last one talking before they go to sleep at night, usually?
Lizzie.
And then who?
Sometimes I go to sleep quick.
Hmm.
Sometimes Zach, sometimes me.
Talking is-
sometimes you and sometimes Mom.
Sometimes. Talking is something that runs in our family, apparently. But talking and not talking is an interesting challenge. And our tradition this week says there are acts that we do in silence, and then there are acts that we do with words and speaking. And knowing the difference and the holiness of both silence and speaking is something that I think our tradition sort of subtly is trying to teach us. That there is holiness that comes from speaking and the words that we choose, but there's also holiness that comes from silence, and we need to use to learn how to use both of those things. Some of us, it takes a long time. I'm still not very good at being quiet, and I don't know if Jakey will ever be the kind who is described as a quiet one, but
I can
that's
be
all
quiet
right.
if I want to.
Yeah?
Mhm.
I haven't seen it yet in his lifetime, but that's just me. Shabbat services Friday night will be at 6 o'clock here at the temple. Saturday morning we have Torah study at 10, text study at 9. At 11 we'll be celebrating the bat mitzvah of Maddie David. Sunday we don't have religious school, but Sunday afternoon we do have our community-wide Yom HaShoah commemoration, where we will honor the memory and the victims of the Holocaust, especially given the kind of language we're hearing on a national level. The importance to honor and remember the Holocaust just rises up well beyond anything that I think any of us had realized anytime recently. So I hope you'll join me Sunday afternoon. The service will take place at 2 o'clock at Temple Adith, and I hope you'll be there as we honor the victims of the Holocaust and remember that brutal time in our history. Over the course of the next week, I hope you'll spend some holy time both in silence and in words, and recognize the sanctity that comes both from silence and from speaking. For now, though, Shabbat Shalom. Look forward to seeing you at the temple. Shabbat Shalom, Buster.
Shabbat Shalom.
See you at the temple.